In tech, a 6-month hiring delay does not just slow you down. It can kill a product launch. It can cost you your funding round. It can send your top candidate straight to a competitor. And if you are relying on a regular LMIA work permit, that 6-month delay is exactly what you are signing up for. Mandatory job advertising, government processing, back and forth documentation. That is the normal timeline. There is one program that completely changes that math. I'm Evelyn Ackah, a Canadian immigration lawyer with over 25 years of experience helping clients just like you. And today I'm walking you through how the Global Talent Stream works in 2026, who qualifies, how the 2-week processing actually works, and the mistakes that turn a fast-track hire into a months-long delay. Because in tech hiring, speed is not a luxury. It is the difference between scaling and stalling. The Global Talent Stream falls under Canada's Temporary Foreign Worker Program, but it operates on a completely different speed. There are 2 categories, and understanding which one applies to you is the first step. Category A is for Canadian companies that have been referred to the program by a designated referral partner. These are usually industry groups or economic development organizations. Think of groups like Mars Discovery District in Toronto or Communitech in Waterloo. If one of these partners vouches for your company because you are growing fast and need specialized talent that is not available in Canada, you are in. Category B is for employers hiring workers whose occupations appear on the Global Talent Occupations list. This list currently includes 22 in-demand tech roles like software engineers, computer programmers, web developers, data scientists, IT project managers, information systems analysts, and much more. If the role you are hiring for is on that list, you do not need a referral. You go straight into the program. For tech workers outside Canada, here's what this means for you. If a Canadian employer has offered you a position that falls under Category A or Category B, you are eligible for the Global Talent Stream work permit. Your spouse or common law partner can also get an open work permit, and your dependent children can also get study permits to attend school in Canada. The whole family moves together, and it happens fast. But here's the catch. If your job is not on the occupations list and the employer has not been referred by a designated partner, you cannot use the Global Talent Stream. You would need to look at the regular LMIA or an LMIA exempt pathway, like an intercompany transfer category instead. How the 2-week processing actually works. People hear 2 weeks and assume there is a catch. I understand that. Immigration timelines are famous or infamous for being slow. But the Global Talent Stream was specifically designed to move at the speed of business, and the Canadian government prioritizes these applications accordingly. Here is the actual process. The employer submits a labor market impact assessment application along with a labor market benefits plan. That LMIA is processed in approximately 10 business days under the Global Talent Stream. Once it is approved, the foreign worker applies for their work permit. The government targets a 2-week turnaround on that work permit decision. Even faster could be done if it was for a visa-exempt person. So the realistic total timeline for LMIA submissions to work permit approval is roughly 3 to 4 weeks if everything is done properly. Compare that to the 4 to 6 month average for a regular LMIA process, and you start to see why this program is a game changer for Canadian tech companies. But that 2-week target only holds up if every document is complete, accurate, and submitted correctly. A missing form, an incomplete benefits plan, or an unchecked box is the number one reason applications get delayed and possibly refused. And once you are delayed, you lose the fast-track advantage entirely. Your 2-week timeline becomes a 2-month or longer timeline, and the candidate you are trying to hire may accept another offer somewhere else. That is why preparation is not optional here. It is the difference between landing your hire in weeks and losing them to a competitor. What makes the Global Talent Stream different from regular work permit streams? Let me break down why the Global Talent Stream is fundamentally different from other Canadian work permit pathways. First, speed. We have already covered this, but it bears repeating. Regular LMIA processing can take months. Global Talent Stream LMIA processing takes about 10 business days. Second, no mandatory job advertising period. For most LMIA applications, the employer must advertise the position for at least 4 weeks and demonstrate that no qualified Canadian was available. Under the Global Talent Stream, for Category B occupations, there is no minimum advertising requirement. That alone saves a month of waiting. Third, the Labor Market Business Benefits Plan. This is unique to the Global Talent Stream, and it is the part most employers underestimate. In exchange for fast-track processing, your company commits to activities that benefit the Canadian labor market. That could mean training junior Canadian developers, creating new jobs, investing in skills development programs, or transferring knowledge to Canadian team members. The government wants to see specific, measurable, and trackable commitments. Vague promises will get your application sent back. Think of it as a deal. Canada fast-tracks your hire. In return, you prove you are growing the country's tech economy. It is strategic, not just bureaucratic. Fourth, the cost is remarkably low compared to alternatives. The LMA application fee is $1,000 per position. The work permit fee is $155. Compare that to the United States, where the H-1B petition fees now run up to $100,000 per application after the 2025 fee increases. Canada is processing work permits in 2 weeks for $155, while the U.S. is charging $100,000. That cost comparison alone is driving a massive surge of interest in Canadian tech immigration right now. The mistakes that blow up your fast track. I have seen employers and workers make mistakes that turn the fastest work permit in Canada into a frustrating, drawn-out process. Here are the ones that come up most often. For employers, the biggest mistake is submitting a weak labor market benefits plan. If your commitments are vague or unrealistic for your business, Service Canada will push back and your processing timeline resets. Be specific. Say exactly how many Canadians you will train, what skills you will transfer, and how many jobs you expect to create. Concrete numbers lead to approvals. The second employer mistake is offering a salary below the prevailing wage. The Global Talent Stream requires you to pay at least the median wage for the occupation and region. Underpaying is a red flag that will torpedo your application. Do your market research before you submit. For workers, the biggest risk is falling for a fake job offer. If someone asks you to pay money in exchange for a job or to cover LMIA processing fees, that is a scam. Real Canadian employers do not charge workers for the cost of hiring them. If the offer seems too good to be true, or if you have never had an actual interview with a real person at the company, verify everything before you commit. And for both sides, missing documents are the silent killer. One incomplete form, one untranslated degree, one missing reference letter, and you lose the 2-week advantage. Get everything in order before you submit, not during, not after, before. The bigger picture and what comes next. Here's the part that most people overlook. The Global Talent Stream is not just a work permit, it is a stepping stone to permanent residency in Canada. Once you have Canadian work experience through the Global Talent Stream, you may qualify for the Canadian Experience class under Express Entry. Many tech workers who come through the Global Talent Stream are applying for permanent residency within 6 to 12 months of arrival. For employers, that means the person you hire through Global Talent Stream is not just a temporary fix. They can become a permanent part of your team. And that retention pathway is a selling point when you are competing for top international talent. Canada processed over 58,000 Global Talent Stream permits since the program launched, and the government recently announced a $1.7 billion investment in international talent attraction. This program is not going away, it is expanding. But here's the thing. The Global Talent Stream only works if your job offer is real, properly structured, and fully compliant. And that is where a lot of employers and workers run into trouble they never saw coming. That is exactly what I cover in my next video on job offer points and how to avoid fake offer scams. Because if your job offer does not qualify or turns out to be fraudulent, this entire fast track disappears and you may not get a second chance. I will see you there.